Nothing says Jedi Knight like a pink saber staff. Star Wars games under EA's mantle have been rough. The Battlefront reboot was a content-lacking, load-screen watching bore, and the sequel, while much better, still lacks the best mode from the original titles. Where is Galactic Conquest, EA? With the new movies ranging in quality from absolute trash to mediocre at best, there wasn't much hope the franchise would get a good game ever again. Then EA actually had a good idea. They put Respawn Entertainment, the studio behind Titanfall, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends, god that game was boring, in charge of a new, single-player only title for the War on the Stars, and the end result is a pretty solid adventure.
It'll be good for us. Here he is, Chief.
An error has been detected on line 10A. All our clamps are jammed. I need 2 workers to climb up and secure the cables.
Taking place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, Fallen Order follows Cal Kestis, a Jedi in hiding working at a salvage yard scrapping warships from the Clone Wars. OMG, Luker Hulk.
Now you look at that. A Separatist ship. Haven't seen a Luke or Hulk in ages.
Yeah. Ages.
Breaking her will be big money.
His buddy nearly falls to his death, and Cal uses the Force to save him, unintentionally alerting the Empire to his existence. 2 Inquisitors arrive to take him in, though things do not go quite as they planned.
You own.
No!
Cal ends up fleeing and being rescued by Sarah and Grease aboard the Mantis. Sarah is a former Jedi who cut herself off from the Force after a certain event in her past, and together the 3 of them go to a planet to begin the search for a Jedi holocron which has the locations of all the known Force-sensitive children in the galaxy.
A Jedi I knew discovered it before the Purge. You won't find it on any maps.
At this planet, you come across a little droid known as BD-1, who is easily twice as cool as BB-8, and the actual scope of your quest becomes clear. You'll end up going to several different planets, taking on bosses, solving puzzles, and enjoying the well-written character interactions. Marin is my favorite.
Well, now, what is this gonna require?
A sacrifice. One of your arms will do nicely.
Wait, what?
Don't be so serious. Join me up front.
I love her in all her emo goddessness. Even the antagonists have a good amount of character devoted to them. The Ninth Sister doesn't really do much, but you understand her clear personality. Ninth Sister smash! The Second Sister is my new favorite Star Wars villain, as not only is she smoking hot, you see the pain behind her apparent total devotion to the dark side. Her fighting style is quick, vicious, and taunting. A clear signal of her quick delve into the dark side, while her similar quick and short-lived redemption tie into how much she secretly wished to rid herself of this taint.
I've carried so much hate for you.
And don't even get me started on the Darth Vader cameo.
You would be wise to surrender.
Yeah. Probably.
For the most part, the pacing of the story is pretty great, with certain story beats hitting where you would expect them to be. The ending, though, seems rushed. Right after you finally get Marin and your crew, I thought there was maybe another 4 hours of story left to experience. A Night Sister is part of my crew. Can you imagine the sort of Force abilities, character development, and lore which could be explored if we had several hours spent with this character? One who is naturally aligned with the side of the Force deemed as evil, yet manages to use it for good? I'm one of the few who honestly believes the dark side, if channeled correctly, can be used for good. See Mace Windu for a perfect example. And not having the time to explore these possibilities was a crushing disappointment.
I agree. My crew, they might take a little bit of convincing, though.
Then we'll convince them.
The ending comes quickly and... spoiler warning here if you haven't yet played the game. After surviving an encounter with Darth fucking Vader, we're treated to this line.
So where to now?
Seriously? Sarah referred to Vader as simply...
It's him.
hinting at her knowledge of who Vader really was, and the final reaction is just, well, that was fun, wasn't it? What's next, mates? There's no sense of fallen action or proper closure, and so the story comes to a close extremely fast.
Hit him already!
Concerning the graphics, Fallen Order certainly looks damn good, though never really pushes the envelope in terms of what the Xbox One is capable of. Reminder, I'm reviewing the Xbox One version, seeing as it's the version I own, but the game is a far cry from looking average. Several times I found myself stopping to simply enjoy the view or admire certain subtle character movements or environmental textures.
You ready to do this?
While at the same time, the stupid levels of texture popping and frame rate droppage made me roll my eyes on countless occasions. Oh, and this happens occasionally.
You will be tested.
Yeah. But I'm ready.
I don't mean just here. Every Jedi faces the dark side.
But my favorite thing about the graphics is simply seeing familiar Star Wars locations in such high detail. Kashyyyk and especially Ilium. Goddamn Ilium. The sacred planet where most of the Jedi obtain their kyber crystals for their lightsabers.
Great Jedi meditated here.
And I know I hinted at it already, but being able to choose colors other than blue for your saber is amazing. Saber customization is here, allowing for some pretty designs, though being limited to just either single blade or saber staff designs is a bit disappointing. Where are the curved hilts, or the crossguard saber? Saber pike? Shoto? The guard Shoto? And the combat, flashy, quick, and fun as it is, it's still extremely basic with no real different fighting styles. There are 7 different lightsaber combat styles Jedi Order used, 8 if you count Vapad, used by Mace Windu, with each one being better suited to various situations. Imagine going against the Ninth Sister, someone who so obviously uses Form 5, Xian Jim So, and switching to Form 4, Ataru, or Form 2, Makashi, in order to counter it. Nah, just basic dodges, force abilities, and the trusty button mash to win. Blocking or redeflecting blaster bolts, pulling enemies towards you, and saber throws are all fun, but you quickly become accustomed to just how limiting the combat is in terms of scope. Speaking of the force abilities, Fallen Order has skill trees a la RPGs. By defeating enemies, unlocking new areas, exploring and passing certain story points, you gain force points. These points can be used to unlock new force abilities, increase your health, or gain new lightsaber skills. Some of these are pretty useful, such as the pull ability, though for the most part everything present is fairly basic. Now, one aspect of the gameplay I'm not too sure about is Soulsborne-esque inclusion of save points, here represented as meditation circles, and how they respawn all previously defeated enemies in the area. Now in easy mode, where the focus is on enjoying the story and the combat is just kind of there, this isn't much of a problem. You start to see the cracks on the harder difficulty levels though. Bear with me, okay? In Soulsborne, having the enemies respawn is a key feature of level/item grinding. True, skilled players can get through the game without ever leveling up, fucking insanity, though for most, grinding XP and leveling up certain aspects of your character is exponentially useful. There's no imposed limit to how powerful your character can be, though your own individual skill is a true limiter. However, in Fallen Order, Cal's growth as a warrior is limited. You only have access to as much of the skill tree as the game wants you to have, or if Cal suddenly remembers how to perform certain abilities.
Just gotta keep getting back up, ED.
God, that's weak. The way you get to deal with enemies is pretty limited, and the whole system has a feeling of designed difficulty instead of difficult by design. In case you're confused by what I mean, take the design of Dark Souls 1 compared to Dark Souls 2. A few minor things of note. I love being able to slightly customize the look of your character's clothing, the paint job of BD1 in your ship, Naboo paint scheme, the way enemies react to you, taking out their buddies, add some nice immersion in the game. Certain initial bosses have their level of oomph, but are used as regular foes later on, which I feel just retroactively lessens their medium boss impact. And the musical score, I mean, it's Star Wars. What did you really expect? Sound design is great. Still Star Wars. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order finally proves EA will listen to gamers if they feel enough of a financial punch. It's nothing amazing. Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy on the original Xbox honestly had more interesting stories, and suffers from graphical issues, simple combat, and lack of lightsaber types in a Star Wars game, and the rushed ending holds it back. However, what really makes this a must-play title, not just in the modern era for Star Wars fans, but out of all of the story-heavy games set in this universe, is the strong writing. 8.3 out of 10. Pink saber staff. Hello everyone, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you haven't yet, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the little bell next to it so you'll always be notified whenever I upload new videos. I don't really have a set schedule, honestly. I try to put out a review every 2 weeks, but they kind of just arrive when they're finished. Also, if you would like to help support the channel even more, why not consider becoming a patron on my Patreon? For literally just $1 a month, less than the price of a cheeseburger, you can help support one little panda and their dreams of doing video game related stuff on the internet, because that's such an original idea. Okay, thanks, bye!